Hello, my beautiful people. My name is Levi Vaneycken. I'm the CEO and founder of SOC Laboratory in Romania. You can also call me Eli. And I came here to Levi's house. I learned a lot from him. He's a very good businessman. I met him at a course here in Brussels. And I had a lot to learn from him from one single meeting. So I thought it is a good idea for him to share everything with many people, so many people can learn how to do business in a very good way. So, hello Levi.
Hello.
Could you please introduce yourself, your whole name? I don't want to misspell it, so it's you tell the people.
So hello, I'm Levi Vaneycken. It's a real Belgian name, so it's a little bit difficult in English. I'm from Belgium. I was born here, and I'm still living here. I am 40 years old, and I did some schooling. I first did some schooling like I wanted to be an engineer because I had a lot of affection for engineering and for science. And then after that, I said, okay, I want to start doing some business. I want to start in a company. So then I started in a company, and then I had the possibility to let that company grow from I started there when there were 10 or 12 persons, and I built it up till 60 persons. And that was my first experience with the company, and I saw that I really liked it. But I also saw that the schooling thing that I learned, like all science things and technical stuff, was really good. But I also saw that I had a lot to learn, especially to know how to work with people and how to communicate and how to get the best of people in your company. So that was the first barrier that I took in those years.
Could you please tell me about your first business?
My own business?
Yeah, your own business.
Yeah.
How did you start your first business?
Yeah.
What was your motivation? Why did you start it, and how did you come up with the idea?
It was a little bit like a feeling. So I was in a company. It was like an employee.
What sort of company was that?
It was a company that did already some kind of inspections of a lot of things. And at a certain point, I had the feeling that I was a little bit limited there. So I wanted to know more. I wanted to explore a lot of things. I wanted to make myself better. But I had the feeling it was not necessary for that company at the time because I was limited by my bosses. I wanted to go faster, and they said no, slow down is good. So I was a little bit limited, and I said that this is too early in my life to get limited. So that was one thing. Then I had a friend of me who I was talking to, and I said, I have a feeling that I want to be something of my own. I wanted to have a company of my own. I want to build something. I want to create stuff. And that guy said, look, I know a company that's for sale. And
he said, okay.
I know a company that's for sale. What do you think? Do we gonna do it together? And I checked it, and I said, yeah, because the jump was a little bit difficult in the start because I had already a management function. So that means your wage is good, you have a car, you have everything, you have a good salary, you have a lot of things. Everything was already pretty good. And then if you start on your own, you will need some money. You need all your money that you saved on your account, you will need it. And you also know you will have to work more.
And you can fail.
And you will earn less.
And you can fail.
And you can fail.
You can fail.
Yeah.
You can lose everything.
It's like, the stability of working as an employee. It's like so kind of a stability.
Exactly.
And working on your own, it's like, it's like taking a risk. For less money, for more work, and to spoil all the money that you saved already into that experience.
How old were you then when you started this?
That time I was, I think, 29.
29.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I think many people would like to ask you this question because you said you bought a company. That's a very interesting idea because many people who start a business at their first business, they just start doing a business without buying a business. For me, it seems a very bold move that you had.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, you had the money from your job to do this, or you just borrowed some money? How did you do? How did you get the money to buy a company? How many employees had that company?
That company had like 15 employees.
And what was the turnover that it had when you bought it per year?
The turnover was 750,000.
750,000.
Yeah.
So I think it was some hundreds of thousands to buy the company.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had that money, so you just went into your account, took the money, and bought the company?
No, we made a plan. We made the plan. You always need a little bit of money of your own.
Yes.
But you also have a bank, so
Okay.
you can make a deal with a bank.
Okay.
So you need to have you have to talk with them. They need to be sure that you want to do it good, that you can do it. So you need a little bit how do you say
Credit.
Credit, yeah.
Yeah.
But not only financial, but also the credit by a human.
By prestige.
Yeah, they
by
want to be
reputation.
sure
Yeah.
does it gonna work or not, because the most of the money comes from the bank.
Huh.
But a lot of money comes from your own also. Because they say if you don't want to put your own money in it, that means you will not do it good. That's that's ideology of the bank also.
It's an amazing thing, because I think that it's a very, very new thing that you are saying right now. And for this reason, I think this video will be very helpful, because it's quite revolutionary for, I don't know, at least in Romania, I never heard of people who bought businesses. Or perhaps I only heard of more advanced business people with a lot of money that bought businesses, but not people in their first business.
That was my first business.
So for this reason, I told you a story about this guy Dan Peña, and he teaches this. He teaches how to buy businesses, and he tells that you can get the money from the bank, and you are the real proof that this is true.
Yeah, that's possible. But you need to have a good plan, a quality plan. That means that you have a business plan that shows that you can do it, that you thought about it, that you really want to do it. And you also need a financial plan, of course. And that means that you have to think, I'm gonna put some money in. I do an example, for example, I do it on 7 years, but then you have to pay every month so much money back. So they want to prove, can you pay it back? Is it possible to do it? And that's your financial plan. So there are two things that they want from you. They want to be sure that you are the guy, and they want to be sure that the financial plan is correct, so that it's possible to do it like that. But if you put those papers together, and then you go to the bank and you talk with them, and you get some credit for them, they say, okay, I think he can do it, then it's possible that you can do it.
This thing is something normal in Belgium. Have you heard of this practice before, of getting money from a bank to buy a business? Because in Romania, I don't think that banks even have this tool for people.
Normally, I think they have that tool. In Belgium, it's because I started like that. For me, it's a normal thing to do for the moment.
Yeah.
But to start is difficult. The first one is the most difficult, because you don't have the experience. You have to explain a lot. You have to persuade them.
The bank.
Yeah, the bank.
Okay.
That you really can do it, and then you will have to have some money also.
Yeah.
So in the start it's not so easy. So for me it was also.
So it was your savings,
your
life savings.
My saving money. I took my saving money. I had a little bit too less. I sold my car.
So you basically put in everything.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I bought a house also. The house I kept because you need to live. But I had a good car. I sold my car to do it. I took all my savings, and that's how I started.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And then I had later a good car, and I needed money again, so I sold the car again.
Again?
Yeah. And then I was driving with the stupid car again, like a car from I think $1,000.
Yeah.
It was like $1,000. I bought a car like that, and I sold my car for I think 12,000 euros.
The other car, the good car.
Yeah. And then I bought a car from 1,000 euros. So I made 11,000 euros profit, and with that money
So I understand that you had some obstacles, at least in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Could you give me one or two examples, real examples, like specific examples where you were in a real difficulty? What was that, and how did you manage to?
Yeah, the real difficulty is first you need to be sure that you want to start. Then my parents are a little bit conservative.
Okay.
Because my father was working for, I don't know if it's in your country the same, it's like protecting the employees.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what the name is in English, but There is
welfare, I think it's called.
something like that.
Yeah.
So they are not really for the employee.
Protecting the employees.
Yeah.
The union.
Yeah, it's like something like
Something
that.
like that. Okay.
Yeah. So they were not really into my plan that I started on my own. They said, "Oh, you have a good job.
Yeah,
you have this, and you have this, and you have everything. Why won't you risk everything to start?"
So basically, your closest people were the least supportive for your business because they wanted safety for
To
you.
start
Right?
with my parents, yes.
Yeah, because also this happens to many people.
Yeah. Because
They think you're crazy.
they a little bit think you're crazy, and they only see the risks.
The risks, yeah.
But you have an idea and you want to do something. How do you know it will not work if you try it? If you don't try it, you will never know.
Yeah.
And I always say you only can regret the things that you didn't try.
Correct.
And the rest you just have to try and you have to do it. And if it doesn't work, then you did try it and then you will know it doesn't work. But if you don't try it, it will stay in your head and you will stay thinking, oh shit, I had to do it, oh shit, I had to do it. And you will think like that.
Until 70 years old.
Yes, till you're on your bed to go.
Yeah, to go, yeah. But I want also to ask you about an obstacle that you encountered in the business, like a business obstacle, something. I don't know, something broke down, you had a problem, somebody stole something.
So that's
something.
like a personal barrier. Then the
Yeah.
second barrier is to go to the bank and get some loan. That's the second barrier.
I mean, no, after you started the business, after.
And then after that,
what obstacles, one or two, something perhaps more important that you encountered and perhaps you didn't expect and you had to deal with?
Yeah, if you buy a company, with there's already people in it,
okay,
then you know that you are the new guy, and you know people doesn't like to change.
Yeah.
So they will give you a hard time in the beginning, and you have to earn their trust.
And how did
One
you?
thing, and then you want to do it better than before. So they're thinking, and they're not thinking, they know, they have to work harder than before, so they don't like it. So there are some things you have to manage, and it's not so easy. If you have a company, when you start, when you buy, then you have to conquer those things also.
So,
and that are not so easy.
how did you convince them?
You just try to build it up more and more and more and more, but it was not always so easy because they tried like technicians, and they were good like they were, and they want to work, but they don't want to work a lot more, and it's not so easy to get them forward and further.
And you just managed by communication?
Yeah.
And that's all?
Yeah, you try to manage by communication, you try little things, you try and error, you change the things, you see it doesn't work, then you change another thing. But every change is a little bit like annoying for people. So when you have more experience, then your changes will be more effective.
Yeah.
Because you know already how you have to change it.
Exactly.
And in the beginning you change this and you see, oh shit, this is not working, and you change this, oh shit, it's also not working. You have to change a lot, and the people who are there, they get more and more annoyed with the idea.
It's amazing.
But I think you can do it good if you have the good communication. And for me, when I started there, my communication was not perfect at the time. It's not even so good as now. So that was, I think, what I could do better in the beginning was have a better communication.
A better communication with people.
And have more reality with their reality. Because my reality was this and their reality was that, and you have to find a reality in between.
Okay, I understand. So this came with the experience and perhaps with some things that you learned from.
Yeah, and then gradients.
Yeah.
You know you want to be there.
Okay.
But you have to find steps in between.
So you do not jump.
Yes, you don't jump because people cannot jump. Because if everybody could jump like you, if everybody could jump like you, then everybody would be an entrepreneur.
Exactly. So even if you can jump from here to here, because perhaps you can jump, you cannot take the people with you. So you
because if you take everybody on the same time with you, then everybody will fall in. So if you want to get there, you know it for you, but you don't tell them. You just build steps in between, and you do it in gradients, piece by piece by piece by piece, and then you will get there, but they will not feel it so hard. If you say from the beginning, yes, and I want to be 50% bigger at the end of next year, then because their reality is not like that. It's your reality, but it's not the reality of the people of the company.
Yes.
But if you see this month I want to grow, for example, 5,000 euros, and you say, oh yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
And next month I want to grow maybe 6,000 euros, and then you build it up, and then at the end of the year you will be there. but you're not saying that's the end goal.
Interesting.
And that's great. It isn't great building by gradients.
Because you don't scare
Yeah.
your colleagues,
Yeah.
your team members.
Because it's when the reality is too big for them, they will say, oh, "This is."
You just tell the
Yeah.
next step, the next checkpoint.
Yeah.
You don't show the
Yes.
big picture.
Yes. That's something I learned. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was something I didn't do in the beginning, and then it's very difficult to have everybody behind you.
Yeah.
To reach the end goal. It's because you will create barriers instead of people who wants to work with you.
Okay.
And you need to
Nice
create
ideas.
and you need to create a team, and you don't need to create barriers. And if you don't have the right communication, not the right gradients, then you will create barriers and not a team.
So when did you feel that you learned the communication? After how many years?
When I started there, then I saw that my communication, because I also had, like in the other company, a guy that he says he had a lot of experience. He worked in a very big company, but it was like a company who had a monopoly, and that guy really worked like a little bit the old days. It was like, I'm the boss and everybody has to do like I say it. And he was really talking like that. But he had a lot of he really talked like that.
Also with the people or just with
Yeah, but he was in the bigger management, and I was the director, and he said, "Yo, Levi, this and this and this," and always like that. But I took it a little bit over. I thought, oh yeah, it's a really experienced guy, so it's very nice, and I was also like it was so really a little bit too hard. And then you can you can have it done like that, but you will never create a team. You will never create people who want to do more than what you ask. It is a bit like mandatory. You make it like an obligation. And when I started the company, then I saw, oh, it doesn't work like that here. So I need to reinvent myself on that thing, on the communication, how to make a company bigger and how to get people really doing what you want to do.
Because basically, when the company is bigger, you say that people should be more responsible. And
that's my opinion. That's my opinion. My opinion is everybody is the same. You need to have a good communication. There are no layers in the company. Everybody is the same layer, but everybody has some other responsibilities. You need to do that. You need to do that. You need to do that. There's other responsibilities, but it doesn't mean you are more than another guy. Every person is the same person. Every person is equally. So that's a little bit the difference. But when I started there, I had ideas from that guy who worked in like a monopoly, big business, and he was really like, and that I didn't feel right with it. I took it over. I started in that company, and I saw that people were doing things because a little bit like they are scared by not doing it than that they really want to do it.
Yeah, I understand.
And I learned that it's not the way I want to do it. It was not a good feeling for me.
It's really.
And then I changed my whole viewpoint on that.
It's really inspiring view.